Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight I've got the great honour of talking to Pasha Monroe. Now, Pasha joined the Royal Marines, served with the SBS, and now is the head of a security company called Blue Line Security. He's got, I can imagine some of the stories he's got that he can't tell us. That's the hard thing. I'd love to hear them, but, we'll have to deal with what we can deal with. Hey, Pasha, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, mate. And again, like I said before, thanks for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy and you get lots of requests like this. So I'm thankful for you taking the time, your time to do this with us. So it's the same that for you that I ask for everybody else. It's just the first, sorry, excuse me, bloody hell. 5 questions I ask everybody, which is, where did you grow up? Why did you join? What was it like? Why did you leave? And what have you done since? And I know you've got quite an interesting story about being brought up.
Mm.
So if you could just start off there and give us a bit of background about yourself and what got you to join the military.
Yeah, so I was born in Scunthorpe, North. At the time, it was South Humberside. Now it's North Lincolnshire, so pretty much up north. In the 70s, where it was the time, the late 60s and 70s, when basically it was kind of the Windrush, but the East Windrush, like the Indians and the Bangladesh and the Pakistanis came over to help while we was doing the industry. And Scunthorpe is a big steel industry, so there was loads of them kind of people coming over to work. And that was when my mum, who's white, met my father, who's from Bangladesh, and that's how I came out. So I am actually half caste. Yeah, so
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to interrupt there. It's not often you hear anyone say that anymore.
What, half caste?
Yeah,
a person of colour.
Because I said it a couple of weeks back to someone, and they looked at me and went, "You can't say that." I said, "Say what?"
Is that a bad word? Is it?
I don't know. I got told off a few years back. We had a new manager coming to work, and his father was an American GI, and his mother was a white English woman, but he was not German. That was it, German. So he was half German, half American, and then ended up in England working here. And he looked like Jimi Hendrix. Fuck me, did he look like Jimi Hendrix? And I was sat talking to him, and I said, "Oh, the coloureds," and he was like, looked at me, and everybody else in the office, "You can't say that." And he looked at me and went, "No one ever says that anymore." I said, "Oh, is it offensive?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Well, what's wrong with it then?" But everyone just stared at us. Sorry to interrupt you there. It was just I hadn't heard that word for so long.
So the first thing I remember, I was about 4 or 5, and my father then put me in the back of his car and in the boot, and I didn't know where I was going, but he was taking me to Heathrow, and his intentions were to take me back to Bangladesh. Not back. I've never been there. I've never been there yet.
Yeah.
Take me there and let me grow up there, and that was it. Got to Heathrow, and then Mum notified the police, etc., and they got me out there, and they brought me back, and that was pretty much the last time I seen him. His intentions were, just to take me. And I have got an older brother. He did that to him, and I didn't know until probably 5 years ago that when he did it to him, he actually sent him over to Bangladesh on his own to meet my dad's kind of relatives, as it were, and lived there on his own for 10 years. So he had a bit of a hard time.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, why was that? Was it a cultural thing, or?
I really haven't got a clue, and I've never asked him because I never had the chance to ask him. But yeah, I mean, and I always say, because I've had this career within the military, etc., I could have been on the bad side.
Yeah,
I could have been on my. Yeah. I could have had flip flops on chasing you. You know what I mean?
Okay, you wouldn't have had the training you had though. Although saying that, I mean, they weren't that bad, were they?
No. So
no, I mean, it's a strange thing that, because it still happens today, doesn't it? People try and steal the children away. But it was quite prevalent in them days, and it was a lot easier then as well.
Yeah, because there's no way of, unless your mum or someone rings the police up and does that at the borders. There's no checking, is there? And I don't even think kids could have or needed a passport. Then they just get on there and flipping off the go.
You know, you couldn't imagine it nowadays, could you?
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, you know, they caught up with you.
Yeah, and weirdly, for a many number of years, I was claustrophobic, and I never understood. I kind of pushed it to one side, and I never.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I came back. Obviously, Mum was a single parent. She had a few relationships, and I don't know if it was in them times, but when Mum met somebody, she kind of changed our names. so you know, when you're married, you change your surname. But every time I met someone, that kind of happens. So I had loads of different names.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That'd have made your fucking passport interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, absolutely bizarre. And that was one of the reasons, which I'll come back to later, when I tried to join in the military, is how have you got that last name? Well, my mum gave me it. Well, that's kind of illegal. So I had to go through the processes of when I thought I got my name changes and all that kind of stuff through and do proper depot.
Yeah.
To basically join up.
I mean, did that not fuck with your head as well, having to change your name all the time?
Well, I didn't really think of it. It was just there's another dad in the house.
I know we're laughing, but fucking hell.
Oh, you know, it's bizarre, isn't it? And as a kid at that age, you don't know any different.
No.
So yeah, and basically, Mum went through a few. Well, we shouldn't say it like that. Had a few different relationships, and then the last one, she met a Scotch guy who was turned out to be violent,
right?
Alcoholic, and he came with a couple of boys who were bullies.
Were they older than you as well?
Yeah. So through that pit for the next 5+ years, I was in and out of homes, foster parents. We went to the women's refuges where, when you get battered, you end up in them, and there'd be me, my mum, my sister, my brother from my mum's side, all in one room for quite some time. And weirdly, this is really weird. We was in there for the first Christmas. I think it was about 1984 for the Children in Need, and we got our presents from Children in Need when it first started. It was like that. I got a Connect 4 kind of thing, you know, and it's weird to say that, you know what I mean? When it all started, I actually got a present.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so...
And again, you know, I mean, like I say, I was brought up quite well. You know, we weren't like a well-off family or anything, but I'd never... You know, I've spoke to loads of people who, you know, one of the reasons they've joined the military is because of broken homes and stuff like that, and stability, and then get away. And it's opened my eyes a lot to how the upbringing, the childhood that other people have had.
You don't see it, really. I just thought normal families were posh. That was the difference, I thought. Oh, you've got a nice house, you're posh.
Yeah.
It's not. It's our family it should be, you know. They had central heating. They got a quilt. You know, they got clothes. There was a cash and carry around the corner from our house. I was in after that closed on an evening. I'd jump in the skips and try and get food. You know,
fuck me,
diving around it. And I remember loads of times they'd throw meat in there. I'd be covered in maggots.
Oh, fucking hell! It's protein, no?
Yeah, well, and then sometimes. I don't know how it happened, but there'd be some kind of security patrol who'd come in there, and I'd have to stay in the skip, in that shit, so they didn't get me.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and a few times, well, living with my dad then, yeah, he was a proper alcoholic, going uptown Scotchman, duty Scotchman, get a few beers and get angry. And I remember one night he came home, and he's always scrapping. And we had a big window, kind of a porch window, and he got out of the taxi, and a few guys, however they did it, followed him on, battered him, and threw him through the window.
What goes around
so that's
comes
the kind.
around.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing he was not into, but you know, it's the kind of stuff he was up to, and my town, you know, it's not a flipping gangster town, you know, it's a normal town, but there's people who want to live like them with them rules.
Yeah. I mean, for you seeing that as a young child as well, it becomes like normality to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we didn't have, obviously, there's no heating in the house, but the carpets, when you go to, back in the day, when you go to the nightclubs and the carpet's kind of slippery.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking hell.
You just need a little brush. And there'd be a colour kind of gas fire thing in the middle of the room where you try and keep yourself warm.
Jesus.
And then Dad would come back and he'd never go to bed. So he'd sleep on the settee, drunk, and then he'd stand up and go to this corner of the room and have a piss. That was his normal thing. And we'd just watching telly.
Fucking hell.
But you didn't say anything because you didn't want to get battered. And there's a few times when the taxi turned up, because he would give us a little bit of a slap, I'd go in the attic. I'd climb into the attic, put the thing back down, and just sit there until I thought he'd go, because it wouldn't be long till he got his head down, just to keep out of the way. Because he wouldn't hit my little sister and brother, because they were kind of a lot littler. Even though I'm not very big myself, but I was the older one, so I'd get the.
You get the brunt of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy I spoke to, I interviewed, who was released last week. He had quite a similar childhood, and he said it just became normal. He still loved his father. And
you end up starting to love him for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a Stockholm syndrome type of thing. It's again, like I said, mentioned earlier, it's bizarre that because I've never experienced that. I can't understand how, I can't understand why if someone's battering, you can't run away or you can't get away from a beautiful husband and walk away because you don't.
I mean, it run away a lot of times, and that was probably the reason why I was in foster homes and kids homes a lot, because. But I'd always end up going back, which was bizarre. And I remember once I started self-harm, and my dad had like the 3-piece razors, and I used to cut my face. And I don't know why nothing ever happened. I don't know why the school didn't do anything.
Up on it, or social workers anyone?
No, bizarre. And then one day, because I didn't have any clothes, I went up to the town into British Home Stores then, and I tried to nick a pack of socks. I didn't have any socks, and I got caught. And then they took me home, and on the way down to my house, I goes, "Oh, my dad's over there. He was in the bus stop ready to go out on the piss." So the police pulled up and says, "Oh, we've got your son." And I don't know what the police got back in and started driving. I goes, "Oh," and they basically said, "Oh, you're not his son. You're just the housekeeper's son." I was like,
Fucking hell. You knew where your pecking order was, innit?
Yeah. So I and then I went home. Then my mum beat the shit out of me because I was nicking stuff, but it was socks. Why? And that system, if I'm nicking something, something that is not helping me, but
something you needed.
Yeah. Where's the questions of what? Why do you need to do that? Why are you nicking a pack of 5 fucking socks? Because I ain't got any.
And I mean, it's the mid-80s. It was a different world to what it is now. There wasn't as much caring. I'm like you. I grew up in the 70s, and in the early 80s. I joined the army in 85. Would you have thought? And I don't want to load this question. Excuse me. Would you think that the blindness of the authorities may have had something to do with the colour of your skin?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, of course.
Because it, like I say, it was a different world. I wouldn't say the world was racist, but it was a bit more bigoted.
I was different. Yeah, and there wasn't, quote, men. That sounds bad by saying it like that. But in the school, there wasn't it was a white school, shall we say.
Yeah.
There wasn't colours.
I grew up in Hartlepool, and there was very few people of colour in our school. Quite a lot of Asians.
Yeah.
I think there was one black guy and one Chinese guy called Lee Chung. I'll remember him forever. He'd just come from Hong Kong. He was brilliant. He hated school. It was great. He was a good guy, and I loved him. So, I mean, what progressed you then to think about a career in the military?
So I first wanted to be a footballer. Everyone around me wanted to be footballers. I wanted to be a footballer, and I liked Liverpool at the time, probably because it was the top of the division. That's probably why I did like it. And played football for the school team. And then one day the taps came round to Scunthorpe United and offered me to go for a trial. Banging, went for the trial. And at the end of the trial, 2 guys were picked, and I was completely necky. And I was like, "Can I cook? Can I? What about me?" And he goes, "Oh, you didn't make it, mate." And I goes, "Yeah, but can I have a go?" And I kind of bullied my way in. And he goes, "Right, yeah, okay." And he let me in. However, the first football match I used to do the football matches before the Scunny football game the morning before or something like that. And weirdly enough, just talking about shoplifting, my mum was she dropped me off at one of her mate's house, and I wasn't allowed to go out. But Mum went downtown for whatever. She went shoplifting and got caught. But the people who I was looking after me wouldn't let me leave, so I missed the opportunity. That I couldn't go, and so that dream was just completely gone. They wouldn't let me back in.
Fucking hell!
That was it.
How different your life could have been, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of the guys started to go in cadets, so I was like, "Oh, I'll have a go at that." And they was in the Sea Cadets, even though the Sea Cadets and the Marine Cadets was in the same kind of unit. And I went there, and I really enjoyed it. I was safe. I was with guys having fun, and I liked the water. And that's where I kind of got my clan, my tribe. Sorry, that's where I started. I felt safe. It was kind of a family, because a family at home wasn't a family. It was just somewhere where I'd been told to be there for a certain time before I was allowed to leave. I wanted to go to school, not academically, because I got a free dinner and it was amazing, and I could play football at breaks, and do sports. That was why I wanted to be there. I didn't leave with anything. Well, I got woodwork, design and realisation, GCSE, but everything else I didn't have a frigging clue. And I think if I got tested ADHD, etc., I think I am down that line, because I can't sit still. I have to get up in the morning to lose my energy. I go for a run, however I do it, because I can't actually sit down without fidgeting or doing something, or looking out the window, or just going into a mom. Do you know what I mean?
That's probably, nature as well. I mean, the way you've been, dragged up as a child, it's got to affect you, the wires in your head.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we all say about ADHD. Everyone's on the spectrum. We've all got a little bit. And everyone, if you look around and you look at other people, you look at yourself, and you can go, "Is that behaviour normal?" I think a lot of people read too much into it. There's, obviously, it's people who've got serious issues, and there's people who've got minor issues. But I think a lot of people jump on the bandwagon sometimes. You know what I mean?
And
they use it as an excuse type of thing.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable. I'm not going to pay for kind of test. I'm comfortable with it, and I know how to know what my quote symptoms are. I'm just hyper, and I'm 52 now, and I'm still hyper. You know what I mean? And I don't know how I don't know how I'm getting a little belly now. And how can you get a belly when you're hyper? Do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell! I'm definitely not hyper, mate. I've got enough weight for the pair of us. Put it that way.
Right,
although it's coming off a little bit. It's coming off a little bit. Fucking hell. So the cadet side of it. I remember turning up cadets when I was like 14, and I didn't like it. I joined the army because I had 2 brothers in the army above me. I went to cadets, and I didn't like it. I think some cunt smashing me in the face on the first night put me right off it. But that's what it is. And that was my experience of that. But lots of people who I've spoke to and served with, who went to cadets said it really, really helped them.
Yeah.
In all aspects of their life, almost.
So I actually joined. Yeah, I was in the Sea Cadets. So I was doing the canoeing, boating, and all that, which was ace. But I also did like looking at the Marine Cadets ducking and diving in the flipping in the woods and under the ponchos and stuff like that. At one time, I did ask if I could transfer, kind of thing, but because I'd been too long in the Sea Cadets, the CEO was like, "No." I was like, "Okay," but I was happy with it anyway. So moving on to fifth year school. What's my intentions? I'm 16. I was 16 in the October, so we didn't finish till the next June, whatever it was. So that's when I applied to go for the Navy. I thought that's what I wanted to do. So I went to the careers office, which is in Lincoln, and met the guy. And I don't know why, he just says, "Come back in 6 months," and he didn't give me a reason. But I didn't have a plan B.
Right.
But as I was leaving, I saw the Royal Marines. I thought, "Oh, that looks all right." And later on, I thought, "Oh, I'm going to think about that and possibly go down there." But when I left school, I started work. That's when I was thinking about going in the Marines, but I had to give I wasn't strong enough. Even though I was hyper, I was only 8 stone, or under 8 stone probably then. So when I joined up, I was 52 kilos.
Okay, now.
So I needed to do a bit of work on myself. I was all right running, but when they showed me what a rucksack was, I'm like, "Oh my God, that's kind of my
It's like
weight."
the size of you.
Yeah. So I spent a couple of years working and walking around with and trying to stand on what I meant to do. I left home by then, so I was living in people's houses. Well, not people. I was moving around mates' houses and things like that. So I wasn't at home. And then I tried to. I got the potential recruits thing for the Marines, and that's when I went down to Lympstone and got a superior pass. My fitness was dog's bollocks. And then when I was trying to join, that was when I had to be put back 6 months, because it took 6 months because the depot, I had to go through solicitors to legally get my name in the order. And when I thought the years were that, Mum changed everything, so it was pucker because they wouldn't let me in. Because
pain in the ass.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh," but yeah, I joined in '91. Put my Berg on. I bought a flipping Berghaus Vulcan, I think they were in the time. A couple of £100. It was very expensive, and I put everything in there and went down to Lympstone. That was, I never looked back. Got off the train, got beasted as soon as I got off the train, but that's normal. And it was tough. It was tough for me. Weirdly, everything they gave me, I was very protective over, and my locker, I never got picked up. And looking back, it's because I never had anything. I was so chuffed that I'd been given all these clothes, and I really, I'd spent hours ironing everything, putting everything in the little piles, and making the locker amazing, and bullying and all that kind of stuff. And it,
It's like you said, you started getting the semblance of a family with the military that way. And like you say, when you grew up having nothing, and all of a sudden, it fucking has a pair of boots to mine type of thing.
Yeah.
I can really understand that.
And I'd never been in the field and done like soldiering, because I was like a sea cadet. I was jumping in the flipping war, etc. So that part was difficult for me as well, and I didn't have a clue. However, I had the bonus. I had it in me that I didn't mind being thrashed. It didn't get me down. If I was going to get thrashed because they found some shit in my weapon or whatever that what it was, or my poncho fell down, however it was, it didn't matter. Then the next morning, if we're having all our kit musters and stuff, and I wasn't good enough, then I'd get thrashed, and it didn't really, people get all beat up and upset, and but that didn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, it can't have been as bad as what you've come from.
Yeah, and all them little things. I never really understood any of all that. Many years later, when I think kind of the jigsaw together and say, as an adult, you're thinking, that's why I was doing that. That's the direction I was going off because this and that,
I mean, at that age, I mean, even you said like, you didn't get the joint straight away from school. You knew we're not. Our heads aren't fully formed until we're about mid-20s. So you don't even think properly. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have put two and two together. You just it is what it is. And especially when you're in training. So, everything's a drill,
100 miles an hour.
Everything's 100 miles an hour, and you have to be there. But again, it's a good thing as well because it hides and masks issues that people can have because you know where to be. You've been told to do this, you know what time and stuff like that. And it's for people who suffer in that aspect, it's ideal, and things
you're on a
like
level,
that going on. And everyone's
you're on a level. You're all the same. You're all the same. Even quote the posh people, they're going to be in a bag of shit as well. So it didn't really matter who. There wasn't a pecking order.
Yeah, I mean, when I went off to do, I joined junior leaders at 16. And what blew me away was not like this big camp that I'm in now and people are shouting and screaming at you. It was all the different accents. I'd never really been away from Hartlepool and listening to people from Liverpool, from London, from Cornwall, and it blew me away. And it was out, and I noticed in them days, or then at that age, sorry, I should say, how different people were. Some people knew how to do the boots and bulls because they were in the cadets and stuff like that. Some people didn't know how to shave or brush their fucking teeth or have a shave or we were shown how to wash. And I was thinking, fucking hell, do we really know that? But people needed to be shown. And like you say, getting to trainer, then everyone's on a level playing field. And I think everyone comes out of there, even if they don't pass training, they come out of it a better person or a better version of themselves.
So I remember also there was one phone box where usually Sunday night people would get in the queue. I never did that because no one would be picking up at the other end. So I never had. I was me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't have a mentor or I didn't have people to ring to say, what the fuck? How do I get down this? Or, I'm feeling shit. You fucking kind of spruce me up a bit or something. So that I think looking back, that was difficult for me because it was me, and I had to be there because I needed it, and the only reason I'd leave is if they'd sack me. So I was there, and I got to week 15, and week 15 is like a pass and fail week with tests, just normal basic tests, and I failed, and I was completely devastated. And so what they did to me, they put me back a month. So I went back into a troop a month with different people. Get horrible to be put into that, but I did get sacked, so I had another chance, which thankfully it worked.
I mean that's good that they did that because I know how strict they are, and I've heard of people fucking for this flimsiest of reasons being let go, being service is no longer required.
So I must have seen something.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, look at me. I'm not a Royal Marine. Fucking hell. I know bits and bobs about the actual training, the selection of it and stuff like that, and the 30-mile jump and this, that, and the other. I mean, what was the highlights of your basic training, your commando course, for want of a better word?
Well, my good points were my fitness was dog's bollocks. When I came to the commando tests at the end, I was kind of looked at for records, kind of for the troop kind of thing. But I didn't give a shit. I'd say yeah kind of thing to the DS or the training team, but it didn't. It's not what I just wanted to pass comfortably. And that's what I did. But throughout the last 10 weeks, the field stuff, then I struggled only because of the yomping with the Bergens. My legs can't do a pace. I can jog, but they won't let you jog because you have to shout left, right, and all that kind of crap. But that's the part I struggled at, But I was there.
I can sympathise you with on that. I've got really short legs myself, like a 28-inch inside leg, and I'm 6 foot tall.
Mm.
I look odd.
Yeah,
I've got a really big head.
So that was something I couldn't even. You can't go away and practice that anyway because you're in training. So it's something, when you're absolutely hanging at your backside and got that one, there's no way out of you to get to the end. So thankfully it worked. Got raid and told my parents. Mega obviously mega chuffed. The curtains go back and you get green in front of everybody and didn't turn up.
Oh, fucking hell.
That was
I mean, how did that? You get your lid. It's supposed to be one of the proudest moments of your life, isn't it? And
but luckily a few of my friends turned up, which I was chuffed at this, and that kind of set the scene for me and that group of people because they meant more to me because they made a massive effort to come and see me,
Yeah.
So that was more. It helped me for the longevity of my whole up to now, really, because the guys have always kind of been there and still friends.
Yeah, that's actually quite amazing, really. That you had mates coming down and do that. So, what unit did you go to after training then? So
I went straight to Arbroath 5 Commando, which at the time was protecting quite the northern flank.
I know Arbroath. We used to we used to stop on that camp. We used to do the Highland Games. If we were up there, we'd stay on the camp in Arbroath. We used to get some funny looks off us lot, or we'd get funny looks off your lot. We got told off one night. We nicked a load of bread baskets and went down a ski slope on there.
Like you do.
We might have been a little drunk. But yeah, not calling at the galley and calling it. Where's the cookhouse, mate? It's a fucking galley. It's a cookhouse, mate. All a bit of banter, all a bit of laugh, isn't it? But it's in the middle of nowhere, though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been a bit of a shock to the system for you, that.
It was, but the shock when I got there was I was put into mortar troop, which is fine, but mortar troop is not a sprog troop. It's the old sweats kind of, it's you should have done time. So that was tough, going straight into that and the questions and the finger poking. What the fuck are you doing in my troop kind of thing? That was a bit difficult. But once I got out, got them to see my professionalism and my fizz, because we was carrying the mortar pieces straight away kind of thing on around the flipping hills and the flipping around Scotland mountain training, then it was kind of I was kind of let in because I was all right.
I mean, it is a big thing though. When I always compare it, and I've mentioned it on the podcast many times that it's a big step going through the gate the first time when you first join up. But going to your first permanent unit for me was just
on your own.
Yeah, it was just as daunting as well because
mate,
you got there and everyone's like so old and they're all they've only been there 6 months, but they look a lot older than you.
Yeah,
and they act it.
Tough and they're all bigger than me anyway. Everyone's fucking bigger than me. Do you know what I mean? And the worst, mate, this is the fucking worst. On the Friday, obviously, I get the train up from Livingston, get in there Saturday, Sunday. I'm off out. Fucking we're off downtown. I'm a Marine now. You know what I mean? Got absolutely wankered the Saturday and Sunday. And the Sunday, I went out on a DCS and I trapped. So Monday morning, mate, I woke up at 9:30 in bed with this chick. Like, that's my day one. I'm meant to be on brave. I turned up, mate. I don't know. I turned up at 10:30 or something. A bag of shit, flipping head everywhere. Joined today, and you got, how you doing? I am flipping so. I'm reporting like that. I am fucking the biggest politician ever. Who the fuck do you think you are, coming into a commando unit? You've just passed your necky little shit, and you turn up pissed and late. I'm trapped. You fucking what? Oh my god! I didn't know what to do. They're like, right, your first job now is go round the camp to the different companies. I didn't know fucking where the companies were, and find out who's on duty next weekend, and you'll volunteer to do the whole weekend. I'm like, oh. So that's what I had to do. Knocking on the doors and other sergeant majors. I am, sir. Please, could I go on duty? Who the fuck are you? Do you know, I've had it again. Do you know what I mean?
They probably thought in the background they're going, he'll fucking fit in here.
You know, day one, like I had to explain why. Oh, day one, I was, I passed out training last week, and it's kind of my first day. What the fuck? You know, people were laughing. I could see, but the straightness of the sergeant major, they was all keeping it straight for that kind of bollocking. But as soon as I was going, you could hear the fuckers laughing, and I'm still fucking a bag of shit shaking, wondering when I'm going to get clouted. You know what I mean?
So when you were up at Arbroath and that, you just went over. Like you said, you mentioned doing the northern flank. You used to spend quite a bit of time in Norway then, really.
Yeah, so I got there. I got to Arbroath in September, October. So then they do the mountain training to prepare kind of for the Norway, and then we went to Norway in the January. So that's my first time I'd left the UK. It was the first time I went on a plane. It was, it's fucking amazing for me because I'd never fucking done anything.
Yeah, but there's somewhere fucking cold. It could have been warm.
Oh, it was fucking It was a shock. I haven't got a fucking clue, and it's one of the hardest places to administer yourself because you've got to do it all properly to survive, as it were. And that particular year, which my first time, it was Hooker Court, so at -30, stop wherever you are, and then you bed down for the night and try and ride it out. And that particular time, they had the old peat cookers with the naphtha, and there was guys not opening the tent to let the fumes out, and I think 3 people died while we was bed down for the night. So my first time in Norway, my first time doing something kind of arduous, we're all locked down, then was like that. No, we're staying a bit here longer now because there's been fatalities. Oh, fucking, this is ace there, Jesus.
Okay, I mean that's going to be a shock to a young guy as well.
Yeah, my heart's fucking hell. What's going on? Is this normal kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, it just reminded me. We spoke about this and you talk and you start remembering things. It just reminded me. I think one of the first big exercises I went on, it was one of the young officers got crushed by a gun. Like the barrel went into the back of another vehicle and he was stood guiding it, and it fucking crushed him. And I thought, oh shit, we're going on. Index type of thing. And no, just carry on. It's like, fuck, someone's just died. Yeah, carry on. Yeah. And that was like my introduction to that. Where the mindset of, even though you've been drilled into you for training, but the mindset of, you don't stop just because somebody's had an accident or died or whatever. Yeah.
So, I came back from Norway, and then we trained to go to Belize. I went to Belize for 6 months, which is amazing. Completely opposite.
I was going to say, it's like,
fucking hell. Yeah, this is how we roll, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking you end up like fucking, I don't know, like hypothermia, then heat exhaustion, and fucking halfway between. I mean, I missed out on Belize. I really did. Not that I fucking really fancied it, but I'd heard that many good stories about Belize. Not just about being in the jungle, the extra activities, let's say, that happened.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
Rose Garden.
Yeah,
the Rose Garden. That was amazing.
I mean, like I say, I've never been there, but I've heard of the place.
I was 19, 20 or something. No, I was 20 there or something, and then getting introduced to them kind of places. Oh my god! You know what I mean? You're allowed to do that shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, how did you find like the jungle and that for the first time?
I thought it was all right. Again, I've always been all right because my admin's good. And if your admin's good in place, again, your admin has to be spot on because you need to look after your body and your equipment. And I actually like that shit. So me tinkering and doing all that kind of stuff, I don't mind it at all.
I mean, the only experience I've ever in the jungle was an exercise Red Stripe in Jamaica. And we spent a few weeks down there, but only about 5 or 6 days at a time. You know, that's like probably the longest period we've spent in the jungle itself. And yeah, it's fucking interesting, isn't it?
It's hard work.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't moving about much.
Yeah,
because you can't really. You know, we were just
Yeah.
we had guys that come down on the exercise. We had some guys from the Skillet Arms Corps, a couple of guys from 2-2 had come down, and I think they were down there for a fucking 6-week jolly in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Right, go and do that over there, lads. We're off on a piss. Yeah, but you know, we learned quite a bit. You know, and again, being artillery, it was so out of the norm for what we would do. You know, but I don't think I'd like to spend any extended periods under that canopy type of thing.
I mean, yeah, it doing the Norway and then the jungle that close of me going into or getting passing training was probably good for me because it kind of fast forwarded me more than the normal line would be. So I was learning quite a lot different stuff quite quickly.
So I mean, this was the 90s, wasn't it? So I mean, there wasn't that much going on, really.
No,
not for regular troops, anyway. Ireland, you know, we just had a Gulf. Bosnia was bubbling away. You know, I think the first time I went out there was 95. I mean, what was it for you? What for you? Did you just go and do island tours, or?
I did. Oh, you know, I did the island. Went to Kuwait. Built a mortar line on the border, and then we came back. That didn't happen.
Oh yeah, there was that where he like saber rattled again. One I forgot about.
Yeah, that. He thought he was going to roll it again, but he never did.
No, because he wasn't fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I forgot that happened.
That was fucking horrible because that was fucking hot.
Yeah,
in the middle of nowhere, flipping.
Yeah, I've spent too much. I must admit, I've spent far too long in deserts in my time. I don't like them either. So nice temperate, you know. What does it do me? So how did you find the island tours then?
I didn't mind them. Wasn't really doing much. The fizz, I was just doing so much fizz, and then that's when I kind of started to think about SF. And it wasn't me necessarily think of it. I thought joining the Marines were kind of SFE anyway, but it clearly wasn't. But it was guys saying, you know, I think you've got it in you to have a go at selection kind of thing. I think like the older guys, and then I kind of looked at it and thought, that's something I actually want to do. You know, and if people are believing me, then that's good for me. So my intentions were, I'm going to go on selection. And in 96, I went to do like the Equate course in Poole, passed that, and then I went on 97 selection, and failed. I got to test week and came in over the time, and I was just weren't good enough.
Yeah,
I was.
Was that like a preparation, or you just
I did
weren't
a lot
ready?
of prep. I think I just wasn't good enough because I did so much prep. I went out on the hill. I was in Scotland, so I was on the hills all as much as I could. I'd go out on night flipping NavXs on my own and trying to. And because I was mortars, it was a big thing to do map reading anyway. So I thought my map reading was good enough, and I was always practicing that. But I just wasn't good enough. So I thought, fuck this. Went back to Arbroath, and then goes, I'm going to do it again. It must be, I don't know, bad luck or something. I don't know. So I went back in the June and did exactly the same thing. Failed it on exactly the same test. So I didn't learn
there was
anything.
nothing. You know, it was just literally. I mean, was it bad luck or?
I just don't think I was good enough. I was running my tits off, and I just didn't get in that time.
And I mean, the criteria to get in is so high. I mean, it has to be. You know, and the level you were at, compared to fucking Green Army as me, is fucking. You're off the fucking scale there. You know what I mean? Even to get to the selection type of thing. You know, so I mean, it must have fucking thrown you. You know, it must have given you confidence and knock as well.
Oh, absolutely! I went off the rails. Because that's what I wanted. that's my focus for a couple of years prior to it. Training, blah blah. That's what I want. Reading the books, watching the flipping programs, etc., etc. I'm going to do this, and then all of a sudden, it's been taken away from me, and that's it. So I went on the Royal Navy boxing squad. Shouldn't have really. So I went to Nelson, HMS Nelson, and I was all right. So, but I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm small, and I boozed, so I got in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the Navy prison for a bit.
The Navy prison.
Yeah, it was called. It's called detention quarters.
Where was that?
It isn't now.
I mean,
it's in Portsmouth. It isn't now. It's the band lived there, but
yeah,
I don't know when Colchester came online for the whole tri-services.
I can't.
It must have been about 96, 97, because in 98 I got sent again, but I went to Colchester this time, so I did both.
I'm trying to think. I was in Collie in 89, 90. No, 89. No, I got married in 89, 90. And I'm trying to think if there was any Navy guys there. There was RAF. I don't recall any Navy guys. Oh no.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, they'd have been on the Navy prison detention quarters.
And what I mean, Collie was. I wouldn't say it was bad because it's a corrective training centre. It's not a prison.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed it.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Yet again, I enjoy making my locker look good. And once it's there, there's an incentive because I can have a radio.
Yeah, get the radio. Yeah. Honestly, fucking hell. I mean, we used to sit on a night, when you get locked up in your cell, and they come around with a tea trolley, and you get a bit of cake, or if you're lucky, and a cup of tea, and we just sit around staring at this mug of tea, going, "What is it tonight?" And just imagining it was something else, and imagining we were somewhere else. But you're right. If you got that radio, if your room was the best and you got that radio, it was like you were the kings of the fucking block. You know what I mean? It was great. We had music. Jesus Christ!
And it was weird because I kind of got left alone as well, because I didn't. You see people getting thrashed yet again. You see people getting a little bit of an hard time. The I guess instructors, whoever they are, giving them a bit of flipping banter, etc. I didn't really get anything, but I don't know. Maybe I just
probably fucking scared you. That's why.
I just screwed the knot and did everything they told him to, and that's it.
He's a fucking little angry man. I'm not going anywhere near him. I mean, because you failed selection twice, and obviously it's going to play with your mind, and you went down that route of get away from everybody, this, that, and the other. When you returned to your unit, I was going to say when you got RTU'd, it's not getting RTU'd. You're returning to your unit.
I was embarrassed. I didn't go to Arbroath. I got a choice. Where do you want to go? So I went to Plymouth. I was like, I'm not going to Arbroath because I don't want to see guys taking the piss out of me.
That was the question I was going to ask.
Yeah, because
I've known guys who went off for selection, failed it for injury, came back. Another guy who went off, failed it for not making one of the tests. The guy who failed it from injury went back, failed again through injury, and he went on kind of same route as you type of thing. But as a soldier in the Green Army, you don't really appreciate, unless you're in the mindset of what you had and the ambition of what you had. I don't think you really appreciate what people go through just to get to selection.
Yeah.
And then through selection, what they actually go through there. And when you see someone come back from it, I mean, fucking all you're back now. And you do get the piss took out of them, unfortunately, but I think that's the way of the military anyway. Yeah. I don't think it's meant, really. No, but, you're going to get ribbed a little bit. But just to get on selection.
Yeah.
You have to be a cut above above the rest.
Yeah.
So I mean, taking I can imagine how hard you took it then when you.
Oh yeah, I went to Plymouth. I was like, I can't see them guys again because I've been in Arbroath 5 years then, so I was kind of known as well. So it's like, no, I'm legging it kind of thing, and not.
Yeah.
I'm having a change. Yeah.
So what got you to where you got to be able to do it again then?
So I went off the rails a couple of years. Then I screwed the nut. Then I went to Ireland again in 02. And it was shit. I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I was like, how can I get out of this? And there was my sergeant major was a mountain leader, so I looked at all that. It looked tough, and I've always known that since I was in, that mountain leaders were respected. There was all nails. There was flipping good. I thought, right, I'm going to fucking go for that to get out of Ireland. So, so
it's a bit drastic. Fucking hell.
I know. But then I thought, that's the next best thing anyway for me, because I couldn't get into selection, so I'm going to go mountain leader. I don't like,
I watched something the other week. I can't remember if it was a documentary from an historian guy. I think it is Mark Felton. He does stuff on YouTube, amazing videos. And I think he likened it, or the title was something along the special forces that nobody knows about and the training's harder than the SAS.
Yeah.
And that's the mountain leaders. And from what I know of watching, the old programs that used to be on BBC Two and stuff like that, the Commandos and the Marines, watching the one on the mountain leaders, I was, and I was in the military and I was going, fuck that. That is, I think, one of the hardest courses anyone can do. So, I'll take my hat off you, not just for what you did later on, but for that.
Yeah. So I got out of Ireland. I went back and, I had a bit of leave and then joined the ML course in, I think it was about July 02.
There's high attrition on that course as well, isn't there?
Oh, there's lots of people, failing constantly. There's not many people get to the other side. And you start in July, August, and you finish in March. So it's a long old flipping course.
And is it mainly all in Norway, or is it scattered all over the place?
So you start in Cornwall. You do a month in Cornwall, a month in Wales. Then you go to Scotland, and then at the end of Scotland, well, not the end of Scotland, towards the last 4 weeks of Scotland, you get kind of caught. Well, not caught, but you go on the run. So then you get put on an island in Scotland. Then you're there for 10 days ish, fucking hanging out, survival kind of. I'll see you when I see you kind of thing. It's fucking horrible. Eating limpets forever and turnips and shit. And it's obviously fucking freezing up there in December.
Fucking hell. Nah, not for me. Not for me.
And then as soon as you get the Christmas leave, and then in January you're in Norway for the 3 months.
Wow. And it's constant, isn't it? It's not just...
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the difference, looking back from that and selection, you get days off, weekends off. When you've done your job on the hills, you don't do anything at night. That's you. Whatever you do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You don't do anything at night. You might have a lecture here and there or something like that.
Yeah.
But the MLs, you don't get time off. Or if you do think you're getting time off, you've got to prepare a lecture. You've got to prepare something that you need to put time into, because if you do, you'll get thrashed.
Fucking hell. Is it that bit? Is it the ML course where you got to do the jump across the rocks, and that's down at Cornwall, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've said
the leap of fail.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Because that's got them fucking with your head a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Or were you just fearless?
I don't care. I mean, the first month was hard because I'm not a rock climber. I don't actually like it. It was my arms, my flipping elbows for the whole fucking time, because I was pulling myself on everything. And you couldn't get involved to your legs, but fucking shaking stings on the legs. I can't fucking do it on my legs. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you, but I'm actually shitting myself here. You know what I mean? And I don't fucking know if this is going to hold. So it was a lot of pure brute force of getting up a lot of that. A lot of them.
So after you've done the ML course, I mean, what was next for you there before you decided?
So I went back to Plymouth, back to a unit. Went over to America to do a novice course instead of Norway. I don't know why we didn't go to Norway that year. And within a year, because it started to be merit-based promotion. So from when I joined Plymouth, a year later, I'd been picked up from my senior command course, which was pretty flipping fast. So I was doing things well. So I went on my seniors, and weirdly, I was in a room with a couple of MLs and a couple of SBS blokes. And so I was talking away, and they're like, well, what, have another go kind of thing. So yeah, but I've had 2 goes. Like, oh, just ring up or write to the chief instructor at Hereford, and that's what I did. And I got the thumbs up. He says, "Yep, you can come back on, even though you've had 2 chances." I says, "Look, I'm a mountain leader," and he's like, "Oh, right, yeah, you can have another go." And then I had to write to him again and say, "Thank you very much, but I'm older than," because it's 32 cut off. 32. I was 33, and he goes, "You necky little fucker! I don't want to. You're not the great man, so everyone will know who you are now. So you really need to screw the nut. Yeah. You've got 1 chance of that. Thank you very much." So I got to the last of the my senior command course, past that, and then I was meant to join the mountain leaders course the week after for this kind of sergeant course for them, and then it's like, I'm not joining. I'm going to have a go on selection. So that's where I went.
So, I mean, going back a third time, excuse me, can you attribute the Mountain Leaders course to helping you out?
Oh, absolutely, because they're so on you for your map reading. Micro nav is a massive. Where are you? Now. If you're monging it, where are you? If you don't know, you're getting thrashed. So that really, really helped. It was a different kind of map reading. I was more confident. I just felt more confident. I was a lot fit. I was strong as anything. When I finished the ML course, I gave myself a year off. My body was fucked. I wasn't doing any kind of extra. I did troops, stuff that the talent to do. I'm not doing any stuff in my time because my body was back shit. So it was confidence and the ability to understand my body, and I knew what I had to do. And I had 1 chance, and I've always wanted to do this. I've just gone about fair, so this is it.
I mean, how big was the course when you got on it? The amount of people? Because I mean, again,
I'm sure there are over 300 people or something.
Fucking hell! I don't think they had that many people volunteering for it anymore.
Well, there was on.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, nowadays there's always a lot of complaints about it. There's not enough people.
Yeah.
I mean, and I suppose as well you get to see different units and how they've prepared for it, or individuals are prepared for it and stuff like that. Like I say, I've watched loads of guys prepping for selection, and sometimes I look at them and think, well, you don't look that fit, or you're not this, that, and the other. You expect it to be. I mean, they are obviously better, or they wouldn't be getting accepted. But it just seems to me it's a very wide range of people that actually get there.
I mean, for one thing I took away from my previous times is I need to eat more because I'm not fat. I can't keep fat. So over the 4 weeks on the hills, you slowly, your body's slowly flipping losing and shrinking and getting flipping fatigued. So I had to just completely lay in bed and just throw stuff down me constantly, because I wasn't hungry. I just had to.
Yeah, you needed the energy.
I needed it.
I mean, what was the hardest part, or of selection that happened to you? Including the jungle as well.
The hills that time was fine for me.
Yeah.
The jungle was. I'm more than comfortable in the jungle. That was just I just had to learn to smile at everything because I'm not a smiler.
Right.
So if I'm not smiling, it looks like I'm pissed off. So I didn't want anybody. I didn't want the DS to look at me as if I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So whenever they were around, I had to make myself smile because I wanted them to know that I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So you've got I get accused of having a resting bitch face.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I never smile.
Yeah, and sometimes people, when I'm out with the missus, they're like, stop looking at them. I was like, what are you about? You're looking as if you're going to kill them. I'm like,
It's just my face.
So, I mean, the hardest part of selection for me was being on the run. At that time, there wasn't much left on my body, and running with nothing was tough, and it was tough.
Yeah. How about the interrogation side of it?
Yeah, I'd already been interrogated loads with the MS, and that was a lot harder for me because there's game mats. So I did a month in Scotland, and then we went on to survival on an island for 10 days, and then you get interrogated. So you're absolutely fucked. You're fucking bag of shit. And before you get down to the interrogation, shall we say, the MS team will be for 12 hours. So they have a fucking go at you, and you're a bag of shit doing, being in the positions and standing in the cold, and in Scotland, you're fucking freezing, shaking, blah blah. You can't sleep, you fucking bag of shit. And then the interrogators told you and to town on you then. So that was completely harder than selection, even though you do it a few times on the selection.
And the only experience I had of that is once we were on exercise in Canada, and they give us escape and evasion at the end of the exercise, and off we went, thinking we were the fucking SAS in it, running off in our coveralls. And I got caught, and it's just one of the most horrible experiences of my life. I think it lasted 18 years. I think it was about an hour, but it was horrible. I mean, I also see one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. They got one of the lads off the stress position. It says, right, turn around, bend over, and pat your arse cheeks. So he did it, and they just went, oh, that's horrible. And we all just fucking creased over laughing. Just went, oh, that's horrible.
Things you remember.
Yeah, fucking hell. Oh, Jesus. So once you pass selection then, I mean, I've heard there's not a big fanfare or anything like that. It's quite low key. Is that how it happened for you?
Yeah, there's nothing really. It's just
It's right, you passed.
Here's your berry. That's it. Yeah.
And then when you're turning up at the unit for the first time, what was that like? Because I mean, I suppose you've got the experience and age to.
Yeah, I thought I knew a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you say, I had a lot of experience. I'd been in 14 years then.
Yeah.
So I thought, I didn't know.
Sound keeps cutting out at the moment.
So when I went in the gates, that was it. It was completely different to what I thought. It was completely wow. You actually could do this kind of stuff. You do. You get given that stuff. It was a completely new world, which I didn't expect it to be. But only because of time spent.
I mean, I know we can't talk about what you did while you were serving there. I'm trying to think of a question where you can answer it and not give anything away. I mean, that there's got to be a lowest point of your career in ESF and a highest.
Yeah,
can you give us examples of that?
I mean, the highest is getting the really bad people. That's it's a mega high. And what they was doing, and you've stopped. You're not stopping something wherever it was. It's the chain of events that person has, or does. I mean, not just that level. It's all a mess all the way down the line.
Yeah.
But I think the low kind of part of it is for me was the intensity of the work and not realising that I was deteriorating mentally because I was constantly out, work, and not having time to process anything. And at some point, the triggers came in, and I was a low point then. So that was the work. That was near the end of my career. So I'd done everything, and I was looking at leaving anyway. But I had to get fixed because I wasn't going to get out.
Right. I mean, what did I'm trying to again? What did you see in yourself when you knew there was something wrong? You know, I mean, we talked a bit about this before we started recording, and I knew there was something wrong with me. But what was the glaring thing in your face?
It was an illumination of different activities, I would say, that you don't. Well, I like process. I just put it to the back of mind, move on to the next thing. So and then all of a sudden, my mother passed, and a couple of other things happened. I was on a bad job, shall we say, and they triggered, but it triggered everything else previous. Yeah. So everything else came onto my shoulders, and I didn't ask for help, but someone seen I needed help, and I got given help, but the help was not good enough. Hence, thankfully, some close people outside of that community got hold of me and fixed me. But I felt let down. That's the job didn't fix me.
I was going to ask. I left the army in 2012, and I think that the mental health side was getting better. It had never been good. You know, it had never been good at all. Seen lots of people fall by the wayside with it and stuff like that, and get ostracised if they showed any sign.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, at my 22-year point, I did go to the sick hospital and stuff. I think I need some kind of help. And what I got told there was, at the time I thought I was going to leave at the 20-year point. They said, "What are you going to do when you leave?" And I goes, "I'm probably going to security." They goes, "Well, if you take any kind of treatment now, you're not going to get a job in security." Oh, fucking no. So I said, "Oh, I don't want it then." So I never took anything, and then I signed on for another 5 years. But that stopped me from fixing myself from to that point. So all that shit was still in there somewhere. So
it doesn't get out unless you.
No, so inevitably at some point, doing that kind of same job and same stuff, it's going to come out again, and it did.
I mean, what was it that made you decide to leave in the end?
I'd had enough.
Yeah.
I'd had too much luck.
Yeah.
I was at an age where I was in a bad place in the job. I've been in a dangerous place, shall we say. And I was like, I got through it, but then I thought, I'm at an age where I should be flipping at home now. I can't carry on doing this because I've got all these. I've got since I went into that world, I'm still standing, and I've got everything. You know, I should leave and hang everything up and call it a day because everything's just been too close. And that particular time, it was a bit close to me. I got out of it.
I mean, what was your transition into Civvy Street like then?
Well, I had a lot of time out. So I was going to, my end date was March 19, but I left in about September.
Right.
So I moved away from the camp. I've moved north, and I was looking, and I just wanted at that particular time. I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do security. I wanted to be, quote, a civvy. That's what I thought I wanted to be. And so I was going around and networking a lot, and I honestly found it okay. I didn't get much help from work. They didn't really help me at all. Yeah. So I was out and about, had a few interviews, and then I got an interview for a wind farm company that goes out and fixes the wind farms.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get much different, can you?
Yeah, completely different. But it wasn't far from home. It was a very, the pay was good.
Yeah.
What I got in my mind was, I know my worth. I know what I left on in my salary. You need to be better than that. That's bold by saying that. It worked. So
I mean,
I was happy with that.
I'm glad that worked out for you, because a lot of people get out and think they're going to get that. You know what I mean? It's.
I think there's a lot of. I think what I've seen with people when they do transition, or when they have transition and they are in civvy street, people don't tell the potential employee their worth.
Yeah.
Or they don't fight for themselves.
I think it's like, I don't know whether that's a military thing or a fucking bloke thing, to be honest. But I think with the military side of it, because you're that used to being part of a team, that you tend not to push your own individuality to people, and it's a habit to get out of. I suffered from it when I left. I was like, I was I thought I was going into a job where, while I was in the military, I was doing it for everyone anyway. I was the IT guy to come to, so I thought I fucking knew it all. So when I got out of the army and started working for an IT company, I realised I knew fucking nothing, and I mean nothing. And then all the imposter syndrome came in, and this, that, and the other, and that played on my mind for a long, long time. And again, like you said, you didn't get any help from the military. I was just fucking there. I was put on gardening leave. Go on, off you go, bye bye. Don't come back in again. We don't need you. I was just like, all right, no fanfare or anything, no leave and do, and I was just like left. Well, I think you don't get no finality there, though, do you?
I think one of the hardest things looking back was understanding your pension, because you want to go on the JPA, right? How does it work? Nobody's had to give you advice because allowed, apparently. No, well, how do I know what I want? What do I tick?
Yeah.
So I found that a real nightmare. It's like that. Who do I ask? Ring people up. Yeah, but I can't tell you what to do because that's against whatever. Yeah, but I ain't got a clue what I want.
Yeah.
So I found that kind of stressful.
So I mean, how did you find it actually working with civvies then?
It was fine.
Yeah. Did they know your background? They were a bit wary of you?
Yeah. But the problem was, I was put into a job as a project manager, but I wasn't taught what to do in that niche trade, as it were. So I was always struggling to understand what the guys' calls needed to be, who needs what for certain wind turbine, blah, blah. I didn't have the background, and I'm not a technician. I don't know anything like that. So spanners, I ain't got a frigging clue. And my job was to make sure they had all the proper kit. I ain't got a frigging clue. I don't even know how they do it. Do you know what I mean? So I did struggle on that. I did put my hand up, but I never got help. And it comes to the point where just under the 2 years, because COVID hit as well, was that we were to get rid of it, and that's they moved me on, which I kind of saw happening. But they did give me a nice bit of gardening leave. But then I thought, this isn't what I actually want.
Yeah.
So I put it out there. I'm looking for work, and within a week, I got a new job in security, which I got straight into it. I was a bodyguard for a royal family.
And you felt comfortable again?
Yeah. I thought, it's weird because I wanted to get out of that niche, that industry. I didn't want to look after people. I didn't want any of that. I had enough of that. But it kind of led me back into it because I was comfortable. I was working with a few people I used to work with as well, which was comforting. But it was a different environment. It was a safe environment.
Yeah.
and it was really well paid again. So nice.
And you've got to travel the world a bit more doing that then.
Well, that particular one I didn't. It was just UK, but
Right.
it was easy. It was like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, which is great. Getting paid that, coming over, it's only a couple of hours away, so it was pretty good.
So what did you move on to next from there then? Because I know you were looking at starting your own.
So I left there after 2 years yet again, didn't know what to do, and then I went out and just did a bit of freelance stuff, insecurity again.
Yeah.
So I was bouncing around. I went to Ukraine a few times. I really got a good buzz out of that. I really enjoyed that. Again.
Hang on. You went to Ukraine?
Yeah. Again.
As
It's
close
something
protection,
I didn't want to do.
Not having a dabble?
No. I went there as looking after the media on the front line.
Right, okay. I thought.
No.
He's missed it that much. He's gone back out now. We've got the Russians.
But weirdly, I did get excited, and it was I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Being ducking and weaving and seeing stuff happening. Yeah, and I was in a comfort zone again, where people were running around like daft lads, and I was able just to calm them down and look after them and get them out of the area, and I could read it because they haven't got a clue what's going on, where it's coming from, who's good or who's bad kind of thing. So it was easy, but it's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to go put myself back into that kind of environment, but it puts food up, puts on the table, and I'm kind of good at it. So I have to weigh it up, but I didn't do it often. But then I was back in the UK doing areas and looking after high value individuals, bouncing around, doing that kind of stuff. And then I got asked if I wanted to start a company, the person who's going to finance it for a year, which absolutely amazing. I've got my own security company, but I was worried. I didn't have any business knowledge. I ain't got a frigging clue. And a guy who I grew up with, who did a small time in the Marines and then left and did 20 years in business, I got hold of him and joined me. Yeah. And I felt confident because he had the business side. However, I worked with him for a year, and I questioned him. He was the commercial director and I was the operations director. And just before he was going to stop or finish the company, so where's your pipeline? Where's your contacts? Oh, I ain't got any. What do you mean? Yeah, I thought you'd do that. But you're the commercial director. Like, what has he been doing for a year? And that's led on to, it's a big kick in the balls for me, but it's made me understand that even people who you think you need to do due diligence on.
Yeah.
And it's totally my fault. I believed what someone was telling me because I thought I should, but I couldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, you like you say, you're trusting people.
Yeah.
And again, when in the military, you tend to do trust people, don't you? If somebody says they're going to do something, you don't second guess them, and you think that, if I was told to do something, or I asked somebody to do something while I was serving, if I asked somebody to go paint a fucking fence, I'd expect to come back half a day later and that fence is painted. That type of thing. I don't expect it and I wouldn't. Sometimes I wouldn't even go and check on what they've done because that they've done what But in Civvy Street, that's not quite the same.
Yeah,
people don't have the same values. Let's say.
Kind of moved on away from that and a few various other things and joined another company. But yeah, I've been looking after celebrities. I've recently been on a TV program, which I can't say which one it is until it's been released, which is next month. So when that comes out, I'm very excited about that, and hopefully my profile will smash it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to start Googling in a minute.
It's not out there. It's not out there.
Ah, fuck. It's amazing how many of you guys do get on a telly, though, isn't it? That's great. I love it. I met a guy. Last year I interviewed him. He was an American guy and his call sign was Raider Dingo. I was fucking meant that. And did the first one with Bear Grylls and Foreign Legion. He was the sergeant in that because he was Foreign Legion. I was just like, and then fuck, he's just want to get famous. That's right, isn't it?
Well, I've been doing a lot of talks as well on the side kind of thing to schools and people listen. People actually want to listen, which I get a kick out of. It helps me, like I mentioned before we got on. I go through my story, which I can't mess up because it's my story. I don't need to remember. I don't need to practice that. But things trigger, and I remember other things that I'm like, friggin' hell, I forgot all about that part. You know, and it's good for me to process my stuff.
I mean, it's that you found that a form of therapy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll have a nightmare tonight because when I talk about this stuff, especially my last part of my military life was chaos and dangerous and etc. And I went through a lot of, hard times, should say. That trigger. So I'll have hot sweats and all kinds of shit.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's good for my. No, it's good. It's good because I always used to keep it all locked up.
I mean, that's a good thing that you're going around the schools and stuff like that. And I'm chuffed that a lot of guys I've had on the show do stuff like that as well. And again, you do find that it's, like we mentioned there, it's a bit of therapy for the self, but it's also, it can be quite insightful and encouragement to the other people as well.
It's nice to center people as well. And, from where I was with nothing, if you've got the belief, motivation, resilience, all them big buzzwords and a big heart, you can get wherever you want.
Yeah.
There is rules, but the rules can always be bent to, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find a way.
I mean, that's the future. I'm going to be close to the mic there. Started shouting. So do you think you're looking for a future in that side of the entertainment industry, or?
I think I'm going to do a two-way route. I'm going to carry on doing my work, which needs to build something for the living life. I've got nothing. The military pensions are shite. Simple as that. I can't live off that, and I've got a family, so I need to, go down that route. And whatever the speaking, telly, however it is, that needs to. Well, people who watch need to make that happen. It's not me who makes it happen, is it? It's what people want to see or want to listen to me. So the more times, I mean, the last couple of months I've been on. You mentioned social media earlier on, and I've been doing loads on that, and I can see people getting interested and coming to watch me. And it is a full-time job putting stuff out there. And you're thinking that's a bit crap. All of a sudden, you've got a lot of people talking about whatever you've said. You think, is that it? Yeah, I think that maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially people like yourself who come from the SF background and stuff like that. People will listen to what you're saying, and I've seen other guys who have made it real good. They're making a living off YouTube, stuff like that, and the way I think it can be a bit of a double-edged sword because you can see there's some fucking weirdos out there. Let's say, you know what I mean. Yeah. I'm lucky that I've only been trolled a couple of times by people on like Twitter and stuff like that. But I know the guys it's got serious. Like, people have ended up in court and stuff like that. It's because there's some fucking strange people out there who can like live on everything you say or hate everything you say and then go for you with a vengeance. You know what I mean? It's
I mean, a couple of my podcasts, one with Dodge Woodall actually. There was you shouldn't really, but you read what people are saying. The amount of people calling me a Walt. What? Wow, I'm not looking at this anymore because it's pissing me off.
I mean, luckily I've never had that. I've never been called a Walt. Christ. I don't know. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? You do get it a lot, and you're just like, hang on a minute, you know who I am. Like for people like yourself and like Billy Billingham and stuff like that, and you're like, You know who we are. How can you call us a what? You've seen, fuck off, you know what I mean, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the plans for the future and everything like that. Right, I don't want to take up much more of your time because it's getting on for an hour and a half, and you've been gracious to do this for me. I want to ask you a couple of alternative questions. So I was trying to think of stuff to ask you today that you might never have been asked before, and I cheated. I went on AI, right? So the AI questions, they're not my questions. So if they're shit, it's AI's fault, right? What's that one? Let me just scroll back up on there. Right, here we go. Unique, funny curveballs, AI calls this, right? Question one. If the SBS had a Marvel-style superhero squad, what would your superhero name and your ridiculous power be? And who in your old unit would have the most useless power? Obviously, you don't have to ask that last one because you can't name people.
I used to call myself 00 Munro. No one else would call me it. I wanted people to, but they never did.
Right, that's the title of this fucking podcast then.
00 Pasha Monroe.
Yeah. So what would your ridiculous power be if you could have one?
I'd like to fly.
Yeah, I get that actually. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a pop at that. I don't know that or invisibility, but that's probably for a different reason. Yeah. Bit of a pest. Right, alternative timeline question then. Right. That's a bit of a twist on that. Yeah, I've just read this question. I thought that's quite good. So, as a 10-year-old, you're the 10-year-old. When you were 10 years old. If you could meet yourself now, what would you ask you? So the 10-year-old asking you in the moment, not the other way around. Right. That's a different one, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Something so basic like, is it possible? You know, everything at that age, you don't know if things are possible, but they literally are, aren't they? You don't think you can get to that place because it's unreal. You think it's unrealistic, but if you have that positive and self-belief that you can, I never, I don't think you have that. There's so many people that I live in the area where I do that everyone does the 9 to 5 monotonous work, etc. Which isn't, I'm not degrading that, but I want to be the person when I'm 7, however age it is, my kids call that, and they listen to stories. Because stories, I've got so many stories. I don't, some people are, I went to work and came home. I've got stories. I want them to listen to my stories, and I want to give them protection that I never had, and a family environment. I mean, my biggest thing is I've got a room here. This is all our safe place for our family, and this day was the war. And I try to not do anything like my upbringing. I'm completely opposite because I feel bad if I'm aware. I need to put that to them and make. I'm not embarrassed by saying to my children, "I love you." That word never happened as a kid. That wasn't a word. Do you know what I mean? Or a hug. I mean, I've got 2 sons, and we hug. And say I, before they go to school or college, I'll hug them and say, "I love you, mate." Say it back. That's a freebie.
Yeah.
Why don't I do it? I never had. I mean, I don't look around different. You shouldn't judge people. That's not. But you do look at people and thinking, do you act like them? You don't just.
No, I get that.
I'm just going on a digression.
No, I get it. Totally get it. Right, last question. Where was that one? That's the same bloody question. Nah, we'll leave all the other ones that give us are a bit shit, so I don't think I'll bother with them. I mean, if you usual, end of the podcast thing, we're looking forward to see what happens to you in the future, especially what you mentioned coming out next month, which will be this month because that's when this will come out. What advice would you give to anyone now? I know it's a trite question, you get asked it all the time, but if anyone was wanting to join the Royal Marines or the Army or the Navy, God forbid the RAF, what advice would you give them?
I think dream big and believe, because we all can get there, and if you've got them in place, then the world's there. And like I mentioned, we've all got one chance here. We want to get old and look back and say, you don't want to look back and say, I wish I'd had a go. I wish I'd done that. That's bollocks. We've got one chance, haven't we? I don't want to look back and say, I wish I'd, for instance, had the third attempt. I'm more than happy because I fucking necky did what I did and a successful career after it. But you don't want to have the what ifs.
Yeah, you don't want what ifs and regrets.
Yeah, they're out your comfort zone, or they're somewhere ridiculous. But it's easy. My life's always been a pinball. It's left and right. Fucking, I want to go there. I can't fucking get up there. But it'll take me however long I get there. I put the ball back down. Right, what's next? That might be years and years, that bit. But I know where I want to go. I need to get there. I'm not a person who can walk all the way to the top.
You make it hard for yourself.
Do that. Yeah, I've seen people do that, but when they're in the same position you get, you're more knowledgeable. You're a better person for failures than that person who just got there.
Yeah,
I totally believe in that.
Right, Pasha. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for that bit of wisdom there from you. I actually really agree with it, to be honest. Lots of people can have regrets in their lives. Let's try and not have any. Go for it type of thing.
Yeah.
Right, I'll stop the recording there. Again, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
Nice. Thanks.
All right. Stop that.